This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
Yes. Hello there. How are you? It's what day is this? This is Wednesday night, huh? Is it? Yeah, it's Wednesday night. Yeah. Okay. Just remembering what day it is. Oh boy, it all becomes a big blur as you get older and older and older and older. God. Oh man, I did an interview this week with a guy on WABC. And we had to do it at 11:30 at night because he wanted me to do it at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I just didn't think I could be in any condition to do an interview at that time in the morning. In fact, I was worried about 11:30 at night. Because if you ever listen closely to this, I start to slow down about the 11:30 spot on this show. But anyway. Hey, listen, let me see here. Now, what do I do? How do I get these things in here? Oh, I see. Yeah, sure. I got to do something here. Because I didn't get things ready. All right. I should get things ready ahead of time. So I'm going to admit, let's see here. I'm going to admit our good friend Phil Meyer, who is now going to join us as I say, hello, Phil. How are you?
Hey, I'm just fine.
Yeah.
By the way, how are you?
How am I?
Yeah.
How should I be?
Well, I was wondering if you had any more diagnosis. You can start with Phil's Medical Minute, and then we'll go on to the legendary broadcaster and podcaster, Alex Bennett.
Well, why? Do you have a update health-wise on yourself?
No, I've lost a few pounds. My waist has gotten a little thinner. It's hard to tell, but you pull in one more belt loop. Yeah. And I went to the gym this morning, and my trainer double booked himself, so I had to be there at 5 a.m., which meant that I got up at 3:30 a.m. to go through my morning routine, and I had a good workout. And, I guess I'm putting on muscle and losing fat.
Oh, okay, good, yeah. Good. That's nice. I just seem to be losing weight. That worries me. So,
yeah. Well, are you back to the?
I'm just not hungry.
Atkins?
I'm not that hungry. No, I'm not hungry anymore. I haven't been dieting at all. Oh.
Well, as we get older, you don't eat as much.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I get up early because I like to go to the gym 3 days a week, and I do it very early in the morning. So 5 a.m. Tuesday, I get a call from Tony, and he says, Alex is on WABC radio. That was when I was growing up. That was WA Beetle C. Now I know you were talking about John Lennon, but WABC AM used to bill themselves as WA Beetle C.
Right.
So,
right.
Even though I thought WMCA was more the Beatles station.
WMCA was more it was more the Beatles station.
Yeah, but WABC was always a little more commercial and a little less genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
when you were being interviewed, he mentioned a number of antics and things that you had done. One thing that he didn't mention was the time in the dead of winter that you had women coming to the station in bikinis. Now, I can't remember which station it was, whether it was WMCA or WPLJ, but you had
I
like
don't remember.
hundreds of women.
I vaguely remember it, but I don't remember it.
It was one of your best and biggest stunts.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
you don't remember
I
that?
don't remember it at all.
Oh,
No.
I don't remember what you said that enticed these women to wear a bikini. And it was, December or January. It was in the dead of winter, and there was hundreds of them that came to the station. And
No, there weren't hundreds of them that came
yes,
to
there
the
was hundreds.
station.
Somebody else can, my memory isn't as good as it used to be, but I remember, the antics. Now I can call my friend Barry later, who was like a WMCA aficionado. He used to do the survey for them, and when they would do the top 100, he was the guy they consulted. Plus, he was a doorman there for Barry Gray.
Yeah. Wow.
And so anyway, yeah, you did that routine, and then you were talking about San Francisco, and the difference with the audience. People seem to you were able to be part of your listeners' life. You related to the listeners, whether they were young and you were fairly young, but and when you went to San Francisco, your shtick in the beginning was, "I don't like it here. I'm leaving," and for some reason that endeared people to you that listened, because they didn't want you to leave.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. You mention these things. People always mention these things to me, and I
Yeah.
never did any of that stuff by design. And
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
hard
You said it was organic.
it's hard to remember if I even did it sometimes because
Oh
of
yeah,
that.
you did that one. I think it even made the newspaper.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
remember it.
somebody that knew your
And I
early.
think if I do remember saying we would, I don't know, give something to the first woman that would show up in a bikini, and I remember maybe one person showing up in a bikini, but I
No,
don't
no,
remember.
there was
No,
a throng of people.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, no.
Well, I can get the facts. I know people who know people.
Oh, you mean I don't remember my own career?
That one, yeah. Well, you don't remember me.
Well, there's
And
a reason for that. That's something you want to like blot out of your mind.
actually, we were closest when you were still at the point that nobody knew what you looked like.
Hmm.
And you were pushing that for a while with the hat and the glasses and
Yeah, well, I
just-
wore a hat so people wouldn't know what I looked like. Actually,
Yeah.
was the reason why. Okay, so I'm looking at a couple of things here because I got a little problem with one of my apps that's screwing up on me. This always happens when I first go back on the air on Wednesday. I always have
Yeah.
some little problem like this, and I have,
you don't do a test on Tuesday.
huh?
You don't try a test on
I
Tuesday.
assume that things are going to work. Okay,
Yeah, but your Monday show you do differently. It's isn't it a Facebook thing?
No.
And-
That I do on another computer. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
But-
it happens to me, and I go, wow, what is this all about? Why does this happen? And
Yeah.
it just does.
Well,
so-
anyway, this what's his name, John Marino. He gave you very nice props, and seemed to have really been familiar with your career.
Well, yeah, but I got it. Well, he's not that familiar because he didn't get to know me until he heard me on Sirius XM.
Yeah,
So
but he did research. You can tell he researched your earlier days.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what I get tired of?
What's that?
And I've been seeing this a lot. There was a thing, for instance, as of when was it? As of yesterday, it was 40 years ago that we started at the Quake in San Francisco.
Wow.
Well, yeah, 40 years. Okay, and there was some item that was written about it, and somebody said, "I was just throwing stuff in the trash." That's the sound you that it said, and it was well, here it goes, the Quake, Alex Bennett show, and then it says the first day, and then it talks about it starting. I don't know, that it was started by the legendary Alex Bennett, and this Moreno the other night.
Yeah.
Legend Alex Bennett. You know, say that when I'm dead, okay? While I'm still alive, I'd rather be working than a legend. You know what I'm saying?
John Cassavetes, the owner of WABC AM, has a position for you.
Casamates, I think is his name.
Casamates. There's a cleanup on aisle 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
He owns a chain of grocery stores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he bought the radio station just so he could be on it. You know?
Either that or he can advertise and get a better price.
Nah.
No?
Yeah. But anyway, you know, but it was a good interview, and I thought he did a very good job. I don't know, I always walk away from those interviews going, well, that guy doesn't know what he's doing. You know, and I felt he was good at what he was doing. You know.
Now, was that put out over the air?
Yeah,
it was done as a podcast, but it was a broadcast on the AM band?
It wound up as a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
But was it broadcast at when Tony was listening to it at 3 a.m. or something?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, okay.
I had pre-recorded it.
Well, that's fair
because I
enough.
didn't want to stay around. He wanted me to do it at 1 a.m, and I didn't want to, you know, do an interview at 1 a.m. I figured I'd be so out of it that it's ridiculous. I can't go like I used to. You know, I used to be able to do 4 hours of programming without even breathing heavy. And I
remember.
I can't anymore. I just can't any longer.
I remember you did stuff you didn't even have to prep.
Yeah.
You know, when they forced you to play music, that was easy. You just grabbed it. You also grabbed only music that wasn't the newest stuff, so that the guys that came on after you weren't restricted from playing that music.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah. And I thought that was very classy, you know, and a nice way to do it. And I remember, you put the carts in and you did all the stuff. It was fun watching you do it. It was smooth.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was radio. That's radio. Okay.
Yeah.
Radio doesn't exist anymore. You know?
Well, it did on Tuesday morning.
Well, one thing I didn't we should have said to this guy was that he was very lucky because he has an all-night show. I'm just cleaning stuff up here.
Yeah.
Nothing's working right for me tonight, so
Yeah.
like after the show's over, I've got to reboot my whole machine. So Dropbox shows up every now and then. Dropbox disappears.
I don't even know how to use Dropbox.
Well, I rely on it a lot because it backs up all my stuff. You know, and so it, but all of a sudden, if I go up there, the little beach ball of death.
If I have a picture that somebody wants, because my camera is 47 megapixels, I can't send more. I can't send very many pictures over an email, and I guess Dropbox is the way to do it. What I usually do is I just put it on
Dropbox.
Dropbox
won't even do it. The best thing that I suggest that you do is there's a thing called, what is it? Something transfer. I forget what it is now, but you can do large files.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I had it in.
And you can use it for free up to a certain point. So.
Yeah, transferbigfiles.com or something.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. No, I had that years ago, and I don't know what happened to it. It probably went with another machine.
Well, they just send it through their server, and then you get a notification, then you go there and you pick it up,
Yeah, the free one limited you to like 20 megs or
something like that.
Gigs or
something like that.
Yeah. No, that was a good thing. Thanks for reminding me about that.
Yeah, but anyway, so my Dropbox isn't working right now. So, I mean, if it does, it is working, but it's I don't know. So so then it's hard for me to do a show until midnight with that not working. You know.
Yeah, that's going to cripple you.
Well, no, it isn't crippling me. It isn't crippling anything. It's just I'm
I
going to
know.
have to reboot the whole machine to get it to, and it does that every now and then. I got to write the
Can't
people.
just turn off Dropbox and turn it back
I got to
on.
write the people at Dropbox and complain about this because this has happened. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens enough.
Do you pay for the professional version or the
Yeah,
larger version?
I play.
Yeah.
I pay for the one where I get 2 terabytes of storage. You know, but I mean, I go up there. It's ghosted, and I go up there, and the beach ball goes around. Right when I try to go to that icon, and this has happened before. You know, just out of it. You know, for no reason at all. You know, I have no. You know, idea why it happens, and then I reboot the machine and then it works. But I don't want to reboot the machine. I want it to work. I want it to work without any problems.
Well, it's amazing what these machines do for us today. I was thinking about my old accountant in the late 80s. I had a machine where I had 2 floppy disks, 5 1/4. And one was the program and the other was the data. And what I used to do was back up the data. He had a little no-brainer list of things for me to do. I'd back it up, and every 2 weeks I gave him the disk, and he would do my books. And things were a little simpler. It was an Epson what was the designation? You had speeds like 4 something. Well, this was a 2 something, 200 and something speed. Well, you remember, the old DOS machines?
Here's the problem with technology. All right.
Yeah.
So I have my lights here. I can turn them on and off just by saying. I don't know if it'll dim anything around here, but I can go echo,
One of these
echo,
days.
turn off office, and then turn.
One of these
see-
days,
see-
I'll plug this in.
What is that?
It's what you have to dim your lights.
No,
It's
that's not what I use to dim.
Green
lights.
Deck.
That's not what I use to dim the lights.
No?
No,
What?
no. Echo, echo, turn on office. Watch. See, my lights change there. You know. But anyway, the other night one of the things went out and I had to reset it, and because I hadn't done this in such a long time, I forgot how to do it. If you don't keep doing something over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, you forget. So it's a year later since the last time I did it, or 2 years later after I set that up, and I couldn't remember how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's a problem. Sometimes you're working a program, maybe something like Photoshop, and then you don't use it for like 6 months, and then you can't remember how to use it.
Well, I don't know how to use Photoshop. I use Lightroom, and I'm pretty good with that. But if somebody asked me to mask a background the other day, and I said, "Well, you got to do that in Photoshop," and I said, "Well, I own it, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know about masking or layers."
The background here, I photoshopped.
Yeah, you
I
put
mean,
the thing in the windows.
Well, no, the windows are no. That's exactly the way the windows are, and
Oh.
that's exactly what you see out the windows. I just did 2 things. Up here, there, if you can see that.
Yeah.
You could see the fan, the ceiling fan.
Oh, you took it out?
So I took it out. The picture down here, I
Yeah.
simply brightened it up.
Yeah.
See, but I played with it. Photoshop's great, you know.
And you put GabNet on the TV.
No, that was there.
Oh, really?
I have a channel, the Gabnet TV channel, and I
Right.
freeze framed that and put it on the TV set while I shot. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's how I did that.
Well,
See, all the magic is gone from the show now, isn't it, folks?
Well, my mother, when I was maybe in first grade or kindergarten, she took me, I thought it was to NBC Studios in New York. And you could see inside the sound booth, and they did an exhibition. The guy took some film and he crumpled it up, and like not video film, silver type film. They crumpled it up, and they said that's how they make the sound of bacon cooking.
Or fire.
Or I guess that he said bacon because here 5-year-old kids. I mean,
Well, you just take some tinsel, whatever, and just
yeah,
crumple it.
film.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be film. It could be something as let me see here. Hold on, folks. I have to go. Like here's a package of Hall's. Right.
Halls, yeah.
Let me see here. These lozenges. Lozenge. It's a Jerry Lewis word. And so if you do this, see?
I don't hear it.
You can't hear that?
No, you need film.
Wait a minute. Aren't you listening? You can hear me talk, can't you?
Yeah,
Well, then
we're
you
having a
should hear
conversation.
that.
No, I don't hear that.
No, you see, but I don't know. Come on, I'm doing it right into the same microphone.
Really?
You can't hear that?
No. Maybe I've been shooting guns too long.
That doesn't make any sense at all if you can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you fine.
You should be able to hear that.
No.
Unless the audio, maybe. Let's see here. Let me try
It's,
this. Let me try
you don't
something.
think it's picking it up? Or?
You can't hear that?
Not really, no.
No. Okay. Well, I don't know what your problem is, my friend.
Well, maybe I need hearing aids.
Yeah. I mean, the audio that's going out
Yeah.
is the same audio that when I play.
So when you do that, does your not potentiometer, your meter move?
Well, when I play something like this.
This is Gabnet.
Can you hear that?
The Great American
Yeah.
Broadcast.
Yeah. Well, you see, I mean, you should have been able to hear that.
Oh.
Yeah. See, nothing
Okay.
works, folks. Nothing works.
Yeah. You can't even make the sound of fire anymore.
And my Dropbox is working on all my other machines. Go
Yeah.
figure. Go figure.
Oh, this is the new machine, right?
Yeah, this is a new machine. Well, I mean, this machine gets the most work. But I've had very little trouble with this machine. If I've had trouble, it's not been the machine. It's been the people who haven't accommodated their programs so they would work well with this machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, yeah, I understand because it's too advanced. In October, I'm getting my new monitor, and because there are none available, I'm getting an ISO monitor. Are you familiar with those?
Why?
Well, my monitor is 8 or 9 years old.
Why do you need a really expensive monitor? Don't tell me it's for your photography. Because,
Yeah, it is.
Because I can do photography on this screen that I have here and do it just as fine as you'll be able to do it with your iZod or whatever. You're a sucker.
ISO.
You're a sucker for that stuff. I wish I had a technology company. I'd say, what can we create that Phil would buy?
Phil would buy. Well,
Yeah.
just put it in a nice package.
What we do is we'll just take one of our own old shitty monitors that we were
Yeah.
selling for $50, and we'll just sell them for $1,500, and he'll buy it.
Well, every time you turn it on, it calibrates. So you don't need a.
Oh my God!
I have a thing called a color monkey, and this kind of thing to calibrate the color, and it's built in,
you're making
with
me-
the ISO. So I just decided I was going to get that instead of a new CPU.
Maybe this is another reason to hate you.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. Just that's ridiculous.
Well, at least I'll be able to see the show better.
Really?
And yeah, and then I'll just take this monitor to work. It's 32 inches. It's too big, actually.
Really?
Yeah, the one I'm going to get is 27.
Oh, all right. Well, I have what do I have here? I have a 32-incher I'm working with right here now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You don't find that that's too big?
No. I find that it's just right, actually.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see here if I have if any of these things are working here.
Oh, your Dropbox.
Yeah, no, it's working. It's weird.
Oh, so I went and I did an 20 MMA matches at Kezar Stadium on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and a riot broke out. And there I am. I'm up on top of the ring, and I guess the hundreds of people from each side. There were two fighters, and I guess the family and fans of each of the fighters. There was quite a
Yeah.
rivalry, so they started knocking over the fences and climbing on top of each other. The police got called. It was interesting. And John Perulis, who does the live stream, I come down and I'm helping him protect the table where all the equipment is, his switchers and so forth, and the feed. So he's got a chair and he's fending people off with a folding chair. And I'm just saying, hey, stay back from the table. And people listen to me. I didn't have to fend off anybody. It just,
Oh,
they were fairly reasonable.
anyway, let me just say a story because I guess people want to be kept up on it. I do my
Yeah, let me hear about how you're feeling there.
Well, right now I'm tired as I've been tired as hell lately. I think what my tiredness is boredom.
Yeah.
I really do. But anyway, um, as you know, I had that incident where I passed out or didn't pass out. I fell in the bathroom. And they had to take me
Yeah.
to the emergency room, and then they did my neck, CT scan on my neck, and then on my whole torso, and then what else did they do? Then they did everything, blood tests, and every test known to mankind.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me how much. Did you get the bill yet?
Yeah, it came to about 2,000, believe it or not. Maybe
That's
3,000.
it?
3,000.
2,000? I thought it was going to be 50 grand.
No, no. Oh, no. Nowhere near that. No,
Wow.
no.
MRI and
I
everything.
thought, yeah, yeah. Oh, my eyes are burning. We got allergies. It's just driving me nuts. Anyway, so so what happened was when they did my neck, they found some enlarged lymph nodes. They were
Yeah.
rounded, which are sometimes
Oblong, you said, or something
no
like
rounded, and sometimes
Rounded.
sometimes the rounded ones are cancerous, but
that. Right.
not. Anyway, so the woman there tells me, I think you better go see a hematologist, oncologist over here at Mount Sinai and get them to check this over. So a day later, I call them and I say, I want to make an appointment to see a doctor. And then the woman says, well, we'll get back to you. And then a couple of hours later, maybe the next day, she got back to me and she said, well, we can't see you because unless you have cancer, there's no reason for us to see you. And I went, but, this is probably, maybe it is cancer. I don't know. She said, well, go see your own physician. She didn't give me a direct answer that I could understand what she was talking about. So then I get a hold of, I make an appointment with my doctor, who I see a month later, because that's how long it takes to see a doctor these days.
I thought you had concierge service.
No, I don't. No.
Oh.
Come on. You kidding me? I'm sick. Take care of me. Anyway, so I told the doctor about this and showed him all the work and stuff, and he said, well, I said, I called these people at Mount Sinai, and they said they wouldn't see me because, I didn't have a doctor saying I had cancer or something. I said, I didn't know what it was. He said, boy, I don't understand that at all. He said, well, here's the name of a hematologist, oncologist. Give him a call, make an appointment. So I called, I made an appointment. All right. So now I'm really worried about this. So now I'm thinking, what happened at Mount Sinai? I got to find out. So I call the number again, and I get the same woman I had talked to a month earlier. And she said, what's your name? And I told her my name. And she said, oh, yeah, I have the stuff here. She said, oh, yeah, the doctor over at emergency referred you to us, sent us all your materials. The doctors looked at them. Now, these are hematologists, oncologists, just like something, and they determined that because with your blood tests and everything, that you don't have lymphoma. In other words, you don't have blood cancer. So there was no reason for them to see you. Well, she hadn't put it in exactly those terms, but she said that's the reason why they wouldn't see you. Is because,
Well, that would have been a month of ecstasy instead of misery.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have told me. It was so. The bottom line is that I canceled my appointment with the other doctor because I thought it'd be redundant to do it. Because in the first place, if they said to me, "You need to go see an oncologist, hematologist," first place I would have gone was to Mount Sinai, and they would have turned me down. Okay, if I had known the reason why they turned me down was because they looked at my blood work and said there's no lymphoma here, there's no cancer of the lymph nodes here, I would have accepted that and moved on.
How do they test for that?
They don't
Do you
test
know?
for it. They look at your blood work.
That's it?
If your blood's way off. I mean, I had some highs, I had some lows.
Oh, you mean the white blood cells and
My white and reds were a little high. A lot of that could have been because of the accident itself.
Yeah.
But anyway, that being the point was that they didn't want to see me because there was no reason to see
you. Yeah, sometimes when the whites are off, it could have been from the food poisoning.
Well, a lot of things could have been from the food poisoning. The enlarged lymph nodes that they found
could have been. Right.
Oh, I think absolutely. So anyway, that's the story on that one. So I just and I'll call my doctor next week and tell him what was wrong.
So he lives, huh?
I guess for now.
Yeah.
But I'm exhausted and I'm tired. Oh, let's go bring in some of these people, okay?
All right.
Here, let me see here. Three people are waiting in the waiting room, and let me see. Here.
Two of them are bots, according to Elon Musk.
Yeah. Admit all. Well, I mean, they're finding out there are a lot of bots at Twitter. Yeah. But there's Alan, and there's Charlie, and there's Jeff. Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hello. So I missed the last part. I was on the phone. Did you get a negative on cancer?
No, what happened was that the earlier thing that was done at Mount Sinai, the woman wasn't communicating it to me correctly. The reason they wouldn't see me is they looked at my blood work and they looked at a lot of the other stuff because the doctor sent all the stuff over to them. They looked at it, and by looking at the blood tests and whatever other things they look at, they determined I did not have cancer in my blood.
Good.
Okay, so I canceled this other doctor because to go to him would be redundant, except that he would not have access to all my tests, so I'd have to get another blood test, I'd have to get another this, I'd have to get another that, So.
All right, good. I'm glad to hear you don't have cancer.
Well, I guess, for now.
Yeah.
But,
well, does that explain why you're legendary?
yeah, that's why I'm legendary.
When you were crinkling the paper earlier, I heard it as clear as a bell.
I can't.
Me too.
I can't.
Everybody
Really?
heard it. Bill couldn't hear it. It's time for hearing aids, Bill.
Can you hear that?
Maybe.
Can you hear that, Phil?
At your age, I could see that.
You can't. You couldn't hear that.
No.
Could you hear this?
Just one tap, yeah.
It's the high frequency.
So
we can't
before
seem
you
to
go,
hear.
before you go and get that really big deal monitor, I would get yourself a decent speaker. Okay.
I have Yamaha studio monitors in here.
Yeah. What do you have that kind of equipment for? I don't have that kind of equipment because I don't feel.
If
I
I'm
need
going
it.
to buy something, I buy the best.
No, you want to feel that I'm a professional. I have Yamaha speakers.
I
Yeah,
do.
but his Yamaha speakers were made at Radio Shack.
No, I bought them at Guitar Center. They're monitors.
Yes.
They're 25 years old.
No.
I do. You know what I have for monitors? I have the cheapest desktop monitors you can have.
Let's see if I can move this without screwing it up.
We don't need to
You might
see
be able
them,
to hear
Phil.
something if you moved it.
I can't stretch.
Oh, wait a minute. How are you close to those speakers now?
It's right there.
Okay, yeah.
Or there.
Yeah, the rest of us heard the noise.
Yeah.
What do I have down here? What is that? I don't know which kind of speaker that is. I have a big subwoofer down here. I never use any of the audio that I've got.
Yeah, I don't have a subwoofer, but these are powered. Let me see if I can take a picture of it.
No, you don't have to go through that.
Nobody cares except you.
I care.
Well, get a picture of it.
That's it.
It's
There's
a
two of them.
picture of something with a dot or white dot in the middle of
That's
it.
the sound
Oh,
cone.
those are the cheap ones. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Those are the $49 a pair.
Yeah.
Nah.
Those are ones that they put the Radio Shack label on them.
Right.
Yeah.
But Yamaha makes them.
I think it's the other way around. Radio Shack makes
Yeah.
it.
It's a Heath kit.
It's a Heath kit. Oh yeah, remember those?
Yeah, absolutely. I used to
Yeah.
put those together. Wow.
I never put a Heath kit together in my life.
Yeah.
I'm a Jew. I would electrocute myself.
A lot of Jews are electrical engineers.
That's true. That's true. Let me see here. Yeah. So, anyway. Oh God, I've been feeling pretty good about pollen counts and so on this year, and now there must be some kind of pollen this time of the year. It's just driving me crazy. Eyes are burning, nose is dripping.
Wow.
Yeah. You like New York, don't you?
Does everybody know the term swatting, where somebody calls in? Your
Yeah.
And the
girlfriend
SWAT
got
team.
swatted last night.
You
At
did?
1 in the morning. No, your girlfriend, Phil, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, okay.
Somebody called in, didn't like something about her politics, and decided that they already found out who it was. And she got guns pointed at her and everything, and she came out in her bathrobe, and everybody recognized her as this loser from Georgia, and lowered their guns and didn't figure she was worth a bullet.
Now, was she in D.C. or was she in Georgia when that
At
happened?
home in Georgia.
They're in Georgia. They're at home now.
And you don't think that the police know that was her address?
You would think maybe they don't like her either.
Everybody likes her.
Oh yeah, we all love her. She's terrific. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I were younger. I'd try to fuck her.
Well, that's Phil's dream too. If he was younger, he'd try and fuck her. But he'd do her, and he'd do AOC also.
I definitely do AOC.
Hey, listen. We didn't get into any politics, Phil.
No, well, we were celebrating your last on-air foray. You're legendary Alex Bennett, broadcaster, podcaster, WABC, A Beatles C radio.
If anybody wants to hear it, on my Facebook page, I posted the interview.
I didn't realize that you couldn't post it and you couldn't play it on Gabnet.
Well, it belongs to WABC. It doesn't belong to me.
I understand, but I didn't realize it at first. And when I suggested that, hey, why don't you use? It's about 34 minutes. Why don't you play it in the first half hour of Wednesday? And he said, no, it doesn't belong.
I mean,
to
I could post it.
Yeah,
but
posting and playing, I guess, or
no, I'm posting the page from their website.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Yeah, so that I can do. But why do I want to play an interview? I did.
Yeah. I mean,
It was you were right on. You were sharp. I was you were your old self. I thought you were great.
Really?
Yeah.
What am I here?
You're okay. You're legendary.
A doddering old fool, or as you would call
you're
it,
legendary.
You would call it Biden-esque.
No, you just got Dropbox issues,
Yeah. What is with it? It does that every now and then. I never can figure it out, and it's.
Do you have the paid version, Alex?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, don't you listen to the show, Alan? I asked that question earlier.
I listen to important things on the show.
Could be there's something, or it could be that it's just not syncing on but it's working on my other page. So on my
Does it limit you as to the number of computers you can put it on?
no, I can put it on
No?
anything that I could put my Dropbox on, and it's working on my PC, and it's probably okay. Yeah, it looks like it's okay over on my other machine here.
I
Let
thought
me
you had a
sit
RAID.
here. Huh?
Well, that has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with the program.
Sure, it's
Storage.
No, it doesn't, Alan. It has nothing to do with a RAID. This is like
No, I'm not saying it does. I said, don't you have a RAID?
I have a RAID, yes.
And doesn't that copy your pictures on like 5 hard drives at once?
On 5 hard drives at once.
Right.
He doesn't have the
No.
same size one I have.
Oh,
I think he has a four hard drives.
okay, 4 or 5,
Four.
whatever.
How many
I was
hard
thinking
drives
enough-
do you have on your RAID?
I got 5 8 terabyte hard drives and a SSD turbo drive.
Why?
Well, because that gets
Have you filled it up
pictures
yet,
fast.
Phil? Have you
Huh?
filled it up yet?
No, I'm
How
nowhere
clo-
near filling it up.
Nowhere near filling it up.
You've got all 7
But I will.
pictures on there.
And, the day will come, and Drobo, which is the storage unit I have,
Yeah.
they just filed bankruptcy.
You know why?
So-
Because they sucked.
Well, I haven't had a problem with it, but I think it's maybe liability.
They had 2 reasons. They sucked and they cost too much.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
that's-
Here's the cool thing. You're lucky you haven't had a problem. The
Hmm.
unlucky thing is tomorrow, if you have a problem, they're not responsible for it.
I know I'll be fucked.
But anyway, so no, so no, what you're talking about, what Dropbox is like is a form of a cloud, and I put certain things there and store things there, and then I don't have to store them on my hard drive here, which I don't, it's limited in size because it's an SSD, but the RAID. Is just me. I store all my shows and everything there, and a lot of files that I want to keep and so on, so that if any one of the hard drives goes out, all I have to do in order to get them going again is just replace it with a new hard drive, and it rebuilds the whole thing, and in the
Yeah.
meantime the RAID is still working. That's
Yeah.
the difference. But
You have
a Dropbox is like a cloud, basically.
and there's RAID 5 and there's RAID 6. With RAID 6, which is the way I set mine up, 2 drives could go out at the same time,
Yeah.
and you still
Yeah,
would be
but,
okay.
but the chances of that happening are
A zillion to
a
one.
zillion to one.
Are your drives built by Yamaha too?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all Yamaha drives.
I think they're Seagates. They're Seagate Blacks or Reds. They're Reds.
No. That's Western Digital, black or red.
Oh, then they're Western Digital. I haven't looked
Okay.
at them in a long
Western
time.
Digitals are good drives, and the red is their industrial, the top of the line.
You know something? This has got to be boring. Oh yeah, there are only 29 people watching right now. This has got to be boring everybody who's listening to this.
Oh, not unless they like computers.
Charlie is sitting there looking like, I don't give a shit about this.
Yeah,
True.
all right.
And he's got a degree in physics.
At least we're not hearing about all the conspiracy theories from who.
Yeah.
From who?
Is Charlie doing conspiracy theories again?
No,
No.
Well, how do,
not the new who we were talking
it's
about.
looking better for the Democrats in the fall.
Yeah, there may be a couple of seats, but they're still not going to keep the House according to.
I know. According to who's the
Sorry, I brought it up.
who's the Republican, the head of the.
It starts with an M. He's in California.
No, no.
Matt Gates. No.
Matt
No.
Gaetz, no. The guy
No,
from
he's in
the guy
Florida.
Oh, McConnell? you talking about?
McConnell.
He's the Senate.
Yeah, McConnell said today that he didn't think that the Republicans were going to do well this fall,
I hope he's
judging by
Probably
what's
not
going
in
on
the
now.
Senate.
No, he said anywhere.
Uh,
I hope he retired.
He said the
yeah, I guess Trump doesn't like McConnell.
well, McConnell.
this week.
Well, you know something. If I found out that Trump didn't like me, I don't know if I would lose any sleep over that.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, how can he not like you? You're legendary.
Oh boy.
So is Trump, but in a bad way.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I talked to Phil. Not Phil. I talked to Jack Bishop. I go to bed around 2. Okay, and then maybe I fall off about 2:30. I get up about 10:30 in the morning. Who's calling me today at 10 this morning? Jack.
Was he trying to get on Zoom?
I didn't answer it. Didn't answer it. Called him back later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave a message.
And it's what? It's like 8 o'clock his time.
text his phone.
He's
How's he doing? Is he home yet, or is he still
they're
in hospital?
letting him out Friday at noon.
Mm-hmm.
The exact amount of time needed to meet the insurance requirements.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, it's not
That's
like
what I
they
hear.
say, you know something, we're going to let you out early here. No, we're going to let you stay here for every penny we can get out of your insurance. So,
Oh, so he maxed it out?
yeah, if I were him, I would just tell him, fuck you, I'm going home. Goodbye. You going to stop me? You going to hold me prisoner here?
Did you hear that Donna came in to visit him last week and gave him some really good news? She said, I don't want to be your maid for the rest of your life. That's a nice thing to say when somebody's trying to recover.
Well,
You wasn't happy, obviously, and, you know.
oh, you know something? I got to get rid of something here.
How did you hear that, Alan? I haven't been able to reach
I
Jack.
talked to him.
Oh.
Then why did you
I
say
talked
it?
to him once last week.
Well, I wouldn't want to be his maid either.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know. And do you think he wants the world to know that his wife said that to everybody who's listening?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan. Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
You know, I think you should keep your mouth shut in certain
Okay.
circumstances.
I take it back. He didn't
Too
really
late.
say that. Phil said
Cat's
it.
out of the bag. Now you're going to have to be his maid.
No, she.
Yeah.
The problem is she has not gone to the hospital much. I'm surprised she went to the hospital.
Wow.
Because she was afraid of COVID, and I don't blame her. Because
Yeah.
I know what that's
how
like.
did Marjorie get COVID and give it to me?
Yeah, at the
She got
hospital,
it in the waiting room at the hospital,
Yeah, waiting for you.
waiting for me. So I understand that. I also told him at the time, I said, don't ever hold it against anybody if they don't come to see you in the hospital. Some people just cannot stand hospitals, and they're
Yeah.
afraid of hospitals, and they don't, you know. So you shouldn't hold it against somebody because they don't come to the hospital.
You know, even traveling. In the back of my mind, I was supposed to go to a convention about a week and a half ago in Nashville, and I didn't go. You know, planes were getting canceled. Everybody that I know that went to Nashville comes back with a case of COVID, and you know, I'm saying to myself, what do I need this for?
I just got invited to in October to my 65th high school reunion.
Whoa.
Yeah, you coming?
No. Do you think I want to be in a room full of nothing but old people breath?
Yeah, you know, my 50th is in September. They're having it in New York. And so I get these things on classmates.com and, you know, are you going to go? And I said, no. And then I talked to, offline, I talked to a gal that I knew and I said, I didn't like any of those people when I was in high school. Why would I go there now?
Well, the last time I was thinking about, was going to go, was when I was still working in San Francisco, and I guess it was something like the 35th or something like that. And they were holding it on a boat in Petaluma. Okay,
Yeah.
so I pull my car up to the boat, and I'm sitting there in the car, and I'm watching these people walking onto the boat, and I'm going, those are nothing but old people.
That's right.
Yeah.
I
Welcome
said,
to the world.
And this thing isn't like a party somewhere where if you're not having a good time, you simply go out to the parking lot, get in your car, and take off, right?
So
This
what
is-
were the party favors?
This is-
Geritol?
This is on a boat, okay? And you're stuck on this boat with all these old people. And worst part about it is You're probably old like the rest of them.
You know, my reunion, one of the activities is a cruise on the river from Peekskill. And it was limited to 30 people, and they didn't have enough participants. So,
Hey, I've got a new idea. You know, you've got this asshole down in Texas. What's
Governor Abbott? He's keeping buses in business.
And then there's that Senator Costello, who's
Abbott and Costello. Yeah.
Bennett.
But anyway, he's been literally hijacking Mexicans, putting them on buses, filling up the buses, 50, 60 of them, and sending them to New York.
Well, it's a sanctuary city.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Send them to New York, and he's also sending them to Washington as well. The funny part is that by the time they get here, one time it was loaded with 50 of them, and by the time it got here, there were only 6 on the bus. They had gotten off in different places along the way. Hey, I think
they gave them their phones and other documents too soon.
Well, anyway. So I'm thinking, how do we get even with Governor Abbott?
Raise the taxes in Texas?
Okay, now if you had a choice of people to come to New York, would you rather it be Mexican immigrants who are looking for a better life in America, okay, or a bunch of homeless people who sleep in the subways?
You got both.
Well, which ones would you rather have?
I'd rather have the Mexicans.
Because they can lay carpet.
So here's my suggestion. For every busload of Mexicans they send here, we send a busload of our homeless.
Back.
Yeah, but they'd have to work in Texas. They wouldn't get away with that crap.
Huh? Well, you know, I mean, come on.
I'm telling you, if you've
ever taken a subway here in New York and seen some of the people who are sleeping in the subways, you would much rather have a whole bunch of Mexicans here doing the harapa tapatio.
Absolutely. Think about this.
They play the guitar sometimes in the subway.
You know why you got a homeless problem?
Why?
Because they have all of these government programs in New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles that cater to the homeless.
Oh yeah,
there are people making money.
You're so wrong, Phil. I mean,
wait a minute.
The problem is we don't have the ability to take care of these people.
I understand, but they're spending millions of dollars on homeless benefits. And whether it's giving them tents, whether it's putting them in hotels.
Well, what a better thing to do with our money, Phil, than to use it
I'm
for the
glad you
welfare
think that.
and helping people out of their dire situation.
Well, that's why if they went to Texas, they would be forced to work, they wouldn't want to go to Texas.
Sleeping in the streets. They wind up sleeping in the streets and being in a state that wouldn't even take care of them. And they'd have to fend for themselves.
You think we don't have homeless sleeping in the streets in Texas?
Only in Austin.
You don't think you have any in San Francisco?
Oh, we have plenty of in San Francisco.
Send a few of them to Texas.
I got a joke for you. It's kind of off color a there's 3 guys in a row.
Off color a little? Is it racist on any level?
Slightly.
Slightly? Wait a minute. There's no such thing as slightly racist. It's either racist or it's not racist.
It's slightly racist. It's cute racist.
Let me put it this way. Will Charlie be upset by this?
No, he will not.
Okay. By the way,
all right,
Charlie,
so
if you're
there's
not
3
upset,
guys in a
still
rowboat.
look like it. What?
Okay. It's 3 guys in a rowboat. A Russian, an American, and a Mexican. And the Russian picks up a bottle of vodka, takes a swig, throws the bottle into the ocean, and he says, "I am Russian. Where I come from, we have plenty of vodka." And then the Mexican picks up a bottle of tequila, takes a swig, throws it in the ocean. He says, "I am Mexican. Where I come from, we have plenty of tequila."
Is that you trying to do a Mexican accent?
Yeah.
Mexican.
He does it every time at the Taco Bell drive-through.
Yeah. Then the American takes a Budweiser, pulls the top off, takes a sip, sets it on the middle seat, and he takes his foot and he pushes the Mexican into the ocean. He says, "I'm American. Where I come from, we got plenty of Mexicans."
Where's the punchline?
Yeah, well, I punched you.
Is there a joke there?
Yeah. There is a joke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, could you explain it? Just diagram it for us.
Jeff liked it.
Do you have a whiteboard anywhere where you could diagram
I'm being
the joke?
closer to you.
What? What?
That was a freebie to you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Jeff, did you laugh?
Yes, he did.
Tony,
Jeff's looking for a discount on carpet.
Tony didn't even laugh, and Tony's a fucking moron.
That's because Tony didn't understand.
Not anymore. Now he's a Republican.
He's giving me homework. I'm on chapter 4.
I don't think Tony understood it.
No, I did. It was okay.
Good.
I was hoping for a little bit better, but I.
Well, we were talking about Mexicans in New York, and so the American pushes the Mexican out of the boat and says, "Hey, we got plenty of
Don't
Mexicans."
try to explain
it wasn't funny and it was very racist.
It was extremely funny and it was slightly racist.
He wasn't too. We do have a lot of Mexicans, so that's partly true.
So what? We have a lot of Italians. Should we kick them out of the boat too, Tony?
Probably.
With it. If they're here illegally, out of the boat. Phil.
I heard that
Tony-
all of these. Wait a minute. I heard that all of these kids who are going to New York, who came from wherever in Texaco or Mexico. Or whatever.
Texaco, yeah, they came from a gas
Texaco,
station.
yeah. Anyway, they're kids. They're like not even. Some of them are like 1 year old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Abbott is another one of those people who, number one, he's not. None of these people. Trump isn't a conservative. Abbott isn't a conservative. I know conservatives, and a decent conservative has got to hate what's going on right now, because a conservative wouldn't think of this as being something you do.
Tony, do you hate it?
Tell you what.
Come on, you're not listening. You're a conservative. Do you hate it?
I consider myself an independent. I know.
There you go.
Uh,
Now
Phil,
you're.
What do I hate?
losing
Though?
your grip.
I was looking at my email a second.
Oh,
Oh,
if I gotta put it on a whiteboard and diagram it, I'm
Oh.
sorry, Tony.
As long as the whiteboard is made by
You're
John
fired.
Paolo, we'll be okay.
Guess I can't put him for vacation then.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony sent me a picture of a house that he was looking at up
My brother was
north. And this house is beautiful. It's
one
on
in Woodstock.
7.5 acres. It's stone. It was made in 1913. What a gorgeous house. $699,000. In the Bay Area for $699, you can't get a dog house.
I would still say in upstate New York that probably is a fixer-upper.
It's
No, it was in
Well,
Highland Springs or something. Highland.
I think it was not Woodstock. Phil.
Oh, it's near Woodstock.
I
This
think
this
it's-
was perfect. It didn't need a thing. It was gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Why
I
don't
have
you
to
buy
look
it and move there?
If I could make a living, there, I'd live in that house in a second.
Carpet.
How much is it?
at
again?
Level one.
$699 asking.
And they reduced it. My brother was looking at it. We were looking at it.
Oh, just gorgeous.
It looks
Seven
nice.
and a half
Never be the
acres.
same.
What was the mountain that it was on?
forgot the
Overlooked
mountain.
Mount Reba or
I
something?
think it's something like that. It's got to
This
be
is
neat.
exciting.
Yeah, I don't want to bore
Oh,
everybody.
it was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was nice inside. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
how
when-
close it was to the village.
The
Though.
White
It was
House
nice
was gorgeous
outside.
till Trump moved in, plugged up the toilets.
I just
No
watched. I'll tell you.
Mexicans.
You know.
It said in small print, absolutely no Mexicans around for 20 miles.
You know.
It's a
You know who's a bigger prick than I ever gave him credit for?
Ooh.
I watched this 3-part documentary they did in England on Rupert Murdoch, and I knew he was a bad guy. I didn't know just how much he was a bad guy. I mean, this whole thing that went on in England, where his newspapers were literally hacking telephone calls of people.
Wow.
And one girl who had been kidnapped or something and somebody killed her, they were hacking her phone calls, and they didn't tell anybody. I mean, it was just horrible stuff. And then
Can
on
they
top
do
of that,
that in England?
he came to the United States, and he hated Trump, could not stand Trump. Trump wanted his help, so they wouldn't even take his calls. You know.
Now, Murdoch is an American citizen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Let me finish the story, please. And he then, at one point, decided, well, this guy Trump probably could win, and the guy who could help him win is me. And then if I can, because he had all this bad publicity in England, he had to get away from. So what he did is he literally won the election for Donald Trump. This guy is a massive douchebag. It's amazing what he will do to make the next buck, and doesn't care about the morality in doing it.
Now, which guy, media mogul, that owns the Washington Times is from Australia? It's not Rupert Murdoch?
The Washington Times?
No, I think
Yeah, the Washington. I thought it was an Australian guy that became a U.S. citizen, but maybe it was Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
Well, Murdoch doesn't own the Times. Yeah.
The Washington Times.
Washington Times now. But nobody
Oh,
reads the
that was the
Washington
movie.
Times anyway.
I read it.
Well,
Like he said, nobody.
yeah.
Yeah,
But,
keep it up.
I saw this documentary, and after I saw it, it's 3 hours long. After I got finished with it, I just went, God, I knew the guy wasn't any good. I just didn't know how bad he was. And then I also realized from this documentary how close the show Succession, have you seen this thing on HBO, Succession, is to Murdoch and his family. Because the whole thing has been going on with Murdoch's family all these years, are the children vying with each other to become the head of the corporation once dad croaks. But he's 91 and he's still going, So I mean, it eventually they'll wind up showing it here, and you got to watch it. It's just, you just have no idea about this guy, because we've heard him. We know about Rupert Murdoch. We know what he owns. We know what he does, but we don't know the severity with which he does it. And what went on in England, it almost ruined News Corp. He had to go in the corner and lick his balls for a couple of years and lay low to let the whole thing go away. But it was, he's just terrible, and there's just and so what I thought about was the complete lack of morality that some of these people have. I mean, there's no morality where Trump is concerned. There's no morality at all. There's no caring about the human race or about your fellow man. The only thing he cares about is Donald Trump. And the only thing a lot of these other Republicans, Matt Gaetz cares about Matt Gaetz.
Well,
And
17-year-olds.
little girls.
And 17
And little
years.
girls.
Yeah.
Washington Times is owned by Sung Young Moon.
Oh, well,
Oh, it was the Mooney. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mugu Gapan.
so you read that newspaper, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
The Phil will go anywhere that will justify his misinformation.
penchant for truth.
Pension?
Penchant.
Yeah. Or if you're really snotty and you want to say it correctly, you go pashant.
Oh, excuse me.
Poor thing.
Pashant.
It took him weeks to learn how to say taco. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. But
I think that if people would emigrate legally and allow us to vet the people that are coming in, I see no reason that you can't allow hardworking people to come to this country.
well, how do you
But
decide
want
whether
them-
they're hardworking or not, Phil?
Well, in past generations, people assimilated. They wanted to be Americans.
no, but there was a time here. Well, look, as a Jew, you should be able to relate to this. In New York, we always heard about people going to Ellis Island. That was the first place you arrived, and then they processed you through there, and then from there, you left and went wherever you were going.
My great grandparents.
There was only one difference. Not everybody went to Ellis Island. A lot of them were dropped off in Manhattan. If they had the money, and they weren't Jewish, and they weren't Jewish, and they weren't of some kind of a real foreign thing, okay? Everybody else had to go through Ellis Island. Everybody had to go through that procedure. And this is what we do constantly. We use immigration as a weapon against people rather than having us live up to our feeling, you know, you want a better life and you want to come here, God bless you, welcome to our country. You know?
Was it because people came in on steamships that they went to Ellis Island, and maybe others came in?
No,
no
no,
choice.
no.
No, there was no choice.
No, if you were
They
on a
didn't
boat,
have
if you were on a
nuclear
boat
powered
and you were in
ships then.
steerage, it stopped at Ellis Island, and then it went down to Manhattan and let all the first class passengers off. Okay.
That
I'll
works.
tell
I
you
like
my-
to travel first.
What'd you say, Jeff?
I want to tell you a little story about my grandfather.
Yeah.
So him, his wife, and I think 3 kids come to the United States from Hungary, I think, is where they came from. But anyway, he had a nice Jewish beard,
Yeah.
which was very common at that point. Well, on the ship, he decided to become an American. So he shaved himself and didn't have a beard anymore. And they all come in with the wife, the kids, and they look at him and they say, "Let me see your passport. Your passport has a beard. You don't have a beard.
Oh, you told this, yeah. Go keep going.
Get out." And they stick him back on a ship to go back to Europe.
Wow.
It took him like 5-6 years before he could get enough money.
to get back.
Wow.
All because he shaved. Holy shit.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and during World War II, Hitler, before he decided to start exterminating the Jews, said that he would ship the Jews to any country that would have them. Oddly
Didn't
enough,
Spain?
Spain took 1 million. Yeah, and Franco said, "I don't want you staying here because we can't afford to keep you here, but you can come here and then go immigrate somewhere else." So a lot of them went to Cuba and then went from Cuba to the United States. That was one way of doing it. But anyway,
Argentina, places like that.
you know, a country that didn't take any Jews?
New
America.
Jersey. Yeah, our country.
Our country. The
There,
United
there,
States.
there were Roosevelt.
So
I
you
bel-
should feel sympathy for immigrants of any stripe
I do,
because of that.
But
Because
you know,
of that.
there were I don't know if it was boats or barges off the coast of New Jersey, and it was filled with hundreds of Jews, and they wouldn't let them into the United States.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. They I don't know if they went back to Europe, but they had to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And a lot of countries just wouldn't take them. What, you want a bunch of dirty old Jews? Come on, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it was. So I've always had an affection for immigrants and people who come here seeking a better life for whatever reason. And these
do
people
too.
who are coming up from South America are coming here because where they are is dangerous. It is no place they want their children to be raised, and they would like a better life for their children and themselves by being here. And this is depicted as some kind of horrible thing, and quite frankly, I think it is a very honorable thing to want to travel away from wherever you're currently
Now-
living. Wait a minute, to the United States and to have to go through what they go through to get here. I think
Now,
that
we-
is
we
very
have a legal-
selfless.
We have a legal immigration system.
No, we don't.
And,
No, we don't.
And,
No, we
and
don't. No, we
well,
don't,
Not
Phil.
not now under Biden, but
What do you mean? We didn't have one under
immigration-
Trump. It was worse under Trump.
You know, no, it wasn't. Do you know?
What do you mean? No,
that-
it wasn't, Phil. It was.
What happens to all of those people that have been trying to emigrate legally, and these other guys just
What's the
jump the
difference
line in
between
front of them?
legally and showing up at the border and saying, I want asylum, or I want to be here, or I want to come to America and become a citizen? Wait a minute. And they're going through the normal, they don't get to come through either, so that's the reason why they go across the Rio Grande and drown.
there was 1 million gotaways. 1 million gotaways.
What's a
know,
Godaway?
two-
I've never heard of that country.
2 million people have turned themselves in when they came over the border. And there are people that have been waiting years to
Where are
get
you
into
getting
this
these
country.
statistics, Phil?
I get them from the news,
What news?
the real news,
Which real news?
Fox News.
Oh God.
Well,
I
hey,
never heard of the country Godaway. Where's that at, Phil?
yeah, it's in Fremont.
To
Oh,
on the left or forget about it.
you said they
Yeah,
came
that's right.
from
To the left to
Godaway.
forget about it. Yeah, right.
You went this way, that way,
I
forget
love how
about it.
Phil
No way,
complains
way.
that Alex
Like,
cuts him off all the
You know, 56 of the people that were intercepted this year were known terrorists. You know, it only
Really? Where
takes
did you
one.
get that statistic?
Also from Fox News.
He's got me everything.
That get it
And-
from
and-
that get it
yeah,
from
where,
the
where'd they get it from?
well, they get it from Homeland Security.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Are you
it's just
sure? Wait a minute. Are you sure? Did they quote Homeland Security on that one?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, you're pretty sure. Now you see, you're quoting
Oh, no,
stuff.
you see,
Wait a minute,
you're using-
throwing-
you're
no,
using-
No, you're throwing out statistics, and then they're
You're-
not being backed up by any.
You're using a talk show trick to try
Wait a minute,
and
the show's
and,
on
and
fire.
defeat.
I was up to 3 in the morning listening to you on the radio. I thought you were live. I said, my God, I don't want to change subjects. I was laying in bed,
Yeah.
and the guy said, next hour, radio legend Alex Bennett. And I rolled over, almost knocked the dogs off the bed. I said, oh shit, I should call in. You
How
want to
did the guy say it?
yeah.
Alex Bennett's alive.
Yeah. I don't sleep. I told her, Phil, I thought I was hearing things from the radio.
Yeah, he calls me at 5 in the morning.
I think I heard Alex live. I'm up all night like a vampire, I told him.
Did you really call him at 5 in the morning?
I don't think it was 5, Phil. I texted you, didn't I?
It was 8 o'clock in New York, Phil. I
No,
mean,
I don't think I called Phil. I wouldn't call you 5 in the morning. Did I call you?
Fine,
5?
I'm up.
Well, just
You know.
just remember that this, Tony, that when it's 2 o'clock in the morning where you are,
Yeah.
it's 1956 in California.
I might have texted him. I have to look at my phone. I don't think I called you, Phil.
You call me.
Maybe I did.
200
Maybe it was 10
times a
o'clock
day.
my time. I was coming back from the post office. Maybe it was around maybe 7 your time.
Excuse me.
Yeah, but because you know what was funny? I don't mean to change subjects. I'm laying in bed the other night and I'm listening to ABC. I go back and forth, so I put the radio on, the Amazon Alexa thing. So I had that guy on. Actually, has a decent show. It's like conspiracy that guy, and he had on JFK guy. And then he goes, and next hour, I'm half asleep. Next hour, radio legend Alex Bennett. I went, what? Am I sleeping? I thought I heard like no way. Then I heard him say it again. Oh shit! I was ready to call you up. I thought I told Phil. I think he was on live. I said, doesn't Alex go to sleep? It's like 3 in the morning. He can't. I was trying to figure out what time.
We
he
pre-recorded it at 11:30 at night. Yeah.
Oh, you must have went on. I couldn't see my clock on my TV, the middle alarm clock. So it had to be about 2:30 my time.
I don't know when they ran it. I heard it the next morning. You know.
Oh, it was good, Alex. I told Phil it was really good. So you know what I was going to tell you, Alex?
Of course,
Somebody
it was good.
called.
It was with me.
Yeah, you know what? Did somebody called? I forgot. I told this to Phil. He must have listened to you in New York. The guy called. He says, "Oh, it was great. You had Alex on." He says, "Ask Alex if you have him on again." Somebody, when you had John Lennon on, or one of these other rock stars, somebody threw up in the studio. He was telling, and that guy Moran didn't know because he didn't know all your interviews.
It was John Lennon who threw up.
He says, "I know somebody threw up during one of his interviews. You got to ask him next time you get him on. If you get him on,
Yeah,
he was
in fact,
adamant about it.
I sent Moreno a copy of that particular moment that happened on the radio.
Oh, okay. And he mentioned something else this other call. He must have listened to you a lot because he said something happened at your 30th birthday. He wasn't sure what it was. I think he might have had air checks because this guy was going into detail with it. It's actually a good call.
My 30th birthday with, he said, David Peel on the Lower East Side, and I had somebody else on, Peter Max. And I don't remember having Peter Max on, but I may well have had Peter Max on.
Because this guy must have listened to the show that night. He was going into it like really good. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Jeff, did you listen to Alex in the early days in New York?
No, because I had already left New York.
Connecticut
I used
didn't
to
have that
listen to
radio station.
What was that?
MCA and PLJ?
MCA. and I was like a kid. I started listening.
Oh
to
wow!
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But
I think we all
who's
were.
who's the guy who was the big shot at night that would come
Harry
on?
Gray.
Yeah, Baker. Yeah,
Very great.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Bob Grant.
yeah, Bob Grant, was he on WMCA? There was Dandy Dan Daniels.
Yeah, well, there was Dan Daniels. There was Frankie Crocker.
I met Frankie Crocker in the hallway at
And you know what?
WMCA.
You know
I
what
was
Dan
with Carol
Daniel?
McKinney.
You know what Dan Daniel, Frankie Crocker, and I all had in common?
And WMCA good guys.
No, same birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not the same year, but the same birthday.
You were the last WMCA good guy.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And you want to laugh, Alex? I could be wrong about this. My mother worked for A&S, Abraham Strauss, on Queens Boulevard. Was that your boss that he bought a radio station? Was that the same guy?
No, that's not. That is, I don't think that was the same Strauss.
I think
No.
it is because that's Macy's. It's owned by Macy's, and
Abraham and Strauss was owned by Macy's.
My mom worked for
It's
A&S.
a Federated store.
Business.
Yeah.
No.
They
The
bought it, I
Federated
think.
came later.
no.
What-
I'm
what-
pretty sure it was.
the Strausses were. Let me see here. Yeah, the Strausses were Macy's.
Yeah.
Basically. If you ever saw the movie Titanic or any of the Titanic dramas,
yeah.
you know the old couple where the husband says to the wife, "Get on the boat," and she says, "No, I'm staying and going down on it with you." The old couple. Well, that was the Strausses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they died on the Titanic.
Wow.
But apparently they lived long enough to have progeny, so that I had to have R. Peter Strauss as a boss.
Yeah, you mentioned that guy as your boss.
And what happened to R. Peter Strauss? That's the big question.
Yeah. His
Yes, Alan?
daughter got it in the Oval Office.
Alan, what?
Somebody that had tickets to get on the Titanic changed his mind at the last minute, and he came back here to run his family in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Milton Hershey had tickets and didn't make it to the ship.
But we were dealing with another question here. and
Yeah.
it's
What was her name? not
he's-
Zelensky.
He married Monica Lewinsky's mother.
Monica Lewinsky. That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, that took a trivia question.
Bill
Yeah.
Clinton did? I don't know.
No, R. Peter Strauss.
Oh.
So,
So
to
I
answer your
Well,
other question,
yeah.
the first time I ever heard of a guy called Alex Bennett
Yeah.
was in Florida.
No.
Your
Really?
favorite place.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
What were you there, like 3 weeks?
No, it was more like 3 months, but it felt like 3 years. Okay.
So there's a story going around that the police stopped you in Florida because some lady complained about you or something.
Yeah.
Is that on Golden Isle?
I've told that story before. Yeah. What?
Oh, okay. Maybe that's
Golden
right.
Isle? What?
Yeah, just above Miami, above the beach, right above Miami Beach. Golden Isle was. The cops were always stopping people,
don't
and
know,
because you'd
Golden-
have to pay the ticket while you were still in the car.
No.
There,
Well,
they-
I wasn't stopped for anything else but to be harassed.
Yeah.
Because some woman called the police and said, "This guy Alex Bennett on WIOD has been saying bad things about the police department." And of course, I hadn't been, because I didn't even have any kind of relationship to the police department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that encounter you did.
Well, after that, I did, absolutely. I mean, but it's scary. That's
You
really
mean
scary.
you don't have First Amendment rights in Florida?
Forget it.
I know.
You know.
Out with DeSantis.
But you see, that's what I don't get. I just don't get, I don't know. I guess I grew up believing there was a Constitution and there was a Bill of Rights and there were constitutional rights. And as I've gone through the years, I find that none of them are true. They're all a myth,
Yep.
that get fed to us as children, so we believe them. It's propaganda, but none of it was true, anybody can grow up to be president, unless you're black or a woman or Jewish, or
Obama.
I mean, but we got fed all these lies and this propaganda in school about what this country was, only to grow up and find out that country didn't exist.
Oh. I don't know. I think it does. I think that
That's because you're not paying attention. That's
there are
because you're
people
not
trying.
paying attention.
There are people trying to turn it into a socialist nation, and they have an agenda, and they're called Democrats.
You're so wrong, Phil. Most the Democrats are to the left or liberal.
Everybody
but,
have a drink.
Yeah, but they're not. they don't want this country to be socialist. Most of my friends who are liberals don't want socialism in this country. I do. I do. You know,
there's two kinds of liberals. There's lefties and there's liberals. The liberals actually don't want to tear down the country, but they work more off of emotion. But lefties, they want communism.
I want communism then.
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Well, haven't you said that in the past?
No. I think communism is about as ridiculous an ideology as any other.
You feel the government should supply everything, that the government is responsible for everything?
I think that the government should be in service of the people. Yes.
Well, I think there should be limited government.
Well, why have a government at all? If you want a limited government,
there
don't
are certain,
have government at all.
Benjamin Franklin said there are certain things government needs to provide. The police, the fire, libraries, schools.
Where'd you hear that, on Fox?
No, it was, I read Benjamin Franklin's autobiography.
Written by who?
It's an autobiography. Oh. It's written by Benjamin Franklin. I gave it away to my daughter, but I had the Harvard 5-foot shelf. It's 51 volumes of classic literature, and that was one of the volumes.
Anyway, I mean, I just think that if you don't have a country that takes care of its people, why do you have a government at all? I mean,
you have to have people that take care of people. You don't need the government to be a nanny. And that's what
nobody's being a nanny. We're just helping people out. We're giving them a leg up. Or making.
For instance, they're going to forgive $10,000 in school.
Well, let's not
loan.
start that right now at the end of the show.
All right. Well,
When is
I think they're trying to buy the votes. Huh?
Why shouldn't they give it? Why shouldn't they give it? Because all those people who got those degrees hopefully went on to be more productive citizens than they would be if they didn't have those degrees.
Yeah, they could have gotten a job and paid for their obligation, and
or maybe the government should pay for it because the government and this country get the advantage of that person being educated.
Yeah, well, they took basket weaving, and that's why they can't get a job and they can't pay their obligations off.
Basket weaving?
Yeah, basket weaving, sociology, any kind of,
simplify.
English literature, the 17th century.
I wish life were as simple as you make it out to be.
Well, it's very simple. You get up in the morning and you create something.
Yes, Alan, you're the final word here.
Josh, when is he only going to do the show on Friday nights?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So there's no show after this one, folks. So I don't know. I guess y'all have to just masturbate or something. I don't know.
Okay. Do that anyway.
Some people can.
Yeah, if you're gonna masturbate thinking about me. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, better than thinking about Phil.
Yeah. What a legend.
That was coming. He had it set up.
Phil, thank you so much. Jeff, thank you, Alan. Thank you, Charlie, and thank you, Tony. Always good to see you here as well. Everybody, why don't you give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you.
I'm gonna see if you're on the radio later.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do another show this morning. Bye, everybody. Okay, there they go. That's our citizen panel for tonight, and we're going to be playing an old, I guess, we'll play the show that we did the other night with Josh. So that you can hear it if you didn't hear it. It was very good. Josh did a terrific job. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll see you again tomorrow night, right? About 10:30. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye.